3 to 4. नारूपमस्येह ततोपलभ्यते नान्तो न चान्दी न सचं प्रतिष्ठा अश्वत्थमेनं सुविरूढमूला वसङ्गशस्त्रेण दृढेन चित्वा ततः पदं तत्परिमार्गितव्यं यस्मिन् गतानां न निवर्तन्ति भूयः तमेव चाद्यं पुरुषं प्रपद्ये यत्र प्रवृत्तिः प्रसृता पुराणी. The real form of this tree cannot be perceived in this world. No one can understand where it ends, where it begins, or where its foundation is. But with determination, one must cut down this strongly rooted tree with the weapon of detachment. Thereafter, one must seek that place from which, having gone, one never returns, and there surrender to that Supreme Personality of Godhead, from whom everything began and from whom everything has extended since time immemorial. Purport. It is now clearly stated that the real form of this banyan tree cannot be understood in this material world. Since the root is upwards, the extension of the real tree is at the other end. When entangled with the material expansions of the tree, one can see how far the tree extends. Nor can one see the beginning of this tree, yet one has to find out the cause. I am the son of my father. My father is the son of such and such a person, etc. By searching in this way, one comes to Brahma, who is generated by the Garbhodakashaya Vishnu. Finally, in this way, when one reaches the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is the end of research work, one has to search out that origin of the tree, or origin of this tree, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, through the association of persons who are in knowledge of that Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then by understanding, one becomes gradually detached from this false reflection of reality. And by knowledge, one can cut off the connection and actually become situated in the real truth. The word asangana is very important in this connection because the attachment for sense enjoyment are lording it over the material nature is very strong. Therefore, one must learn detachment by discussion of spiritual science based on authoritative scriptures, and one must hear from persons who are actually in knowledge. As a result of such discussion in the association of devotees, one comes to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then the first thing one must do is surrender to him. The description of that place, whence having gone, one never returns to this false reflected tree, is given here. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the original root from whom everything has emanated. To gain the favor of that personality of Godhead, one has only to surrender. And this is a result of performing devotional service by hearing, chanting, etc. He is the cause of the extension of the material world. This has already been explained by the Lord himself. I am Sarvasya Prabhaho. I am the origin of everything. Therefore, to get out of the entanglement of the strong banyan tree of life, one must surrender to Krishna. As soon as one surrenders unto Krishna, one becomes detached automatically from this material extension.
Nirvana moha jita sanga dosha adhyatma nitya vinritta kamaha Gandhai mukta sukha dukkha samjay gachanti amudat padam avyayam tat. Those who are free from false prestige, illusion, and false association, who understand the eternal, who are done with material lust, who are freed from the dualities of happiness and distress, and who, unbewildered, know how to surrender unto the Supreme Person, attain to that eternal kingdom. The surrendering process is described here very nicely. The first qualification is that one should not be deluded by pride, because the conditioned soul is puffed up, thinking himself the lord of material nature. It is very difficult for him to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One should know by the cultivation of real knowledge that he is not Lord of material nature. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the Lord. When one is free from delusion caused by pride, he can begin the process of surrender. For one who is always expecting some honor in this material world, it is not possible to surrender to the Supreme Person. Pride is due to illusion, for although one comes here, stays for a brief time, and then goes away, he has a foolish notion that he is the Lord of the world. He thus makes all the things complicated and he is always in trouble. The whole world moves under this impression. People are considering the land, this earth, to belong to the human society, and they have divided the land under the false impression that they are the proprietors. One has to get out of this false notion that human society is the proprietary of this world. When one is freed from such a false notion, he becomes free from all the false association caused by familial, social, national affections. These faulty associations bind one to this material world. After this stage, one has to develop spiritual knowledge. One has to cultivate knowledge of what is actually his own and what is actually not his own. And one has an understanding of things as they are. He becomes free from all dual conceptions such as happiness and distress, pleasure and pain. He becomes fully knowledge. Then it is possible for him to surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
ये थोड़ा लंबा है. think we will take it tomorrow. Actually, I have this one. I have to go now.
Okay.
We will stop now.
Okay.